Just build as many relationships as possible before jumping into this industry, please. A lot of people, social media glamorize this industry because you can make a lot of money, but on the flip side, you can also fail and lose a lot of money as well. 25% of the people who jump in this industry last 2 years. So when watching this video, I want you guys to watch this video all the way through. I want you guys to get as educated as possible before jumping in this industry. It's a big boy industry. You can make a lot of money, but you can also lose a lot of money. So you want to be as educated and understand this industry as thorough as possible before jumping in.
Tim, welcome to the show. I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on here.
Of course, yeah. So Tim Williams, he's one of my great friends. I wanted to bring him on the show today so we could really talk about the trucking business. It's a $1 billion industry, around 700 or 800 billion, and there's a lot of opportunities to build passive income within that industry. So Tim's going to kind of share his expertise, and it's going to be a great show. If you all can continue to like, subscribe, and share this video on the YouTube and on the podcast. If you could rate, leave a review, and share with your family and friends, it's greatly appreciated. So, Tim, to get things started, can you kind of just share your background with the audience, just learning about you for the first time?
All right, so my name is Timothy Williams Jr. You can check me out on YouTube. I also have a YouTube channel educating people on business, investing, and personal finance, and also on Instagram at Timothy Williams Jr. 0. I started a trucking company April of last year. I've been in the transportation industry since I was 21, dating honestly back to my dad was a truck driver, so I've always had like a passion for the transportation industry. So basically, a partner and I started a trucking company April of last year. We started with a box truck. Started with one box truck. Him and I both went part half and half on a box truck. I quit my 9 to 5 job. I was working for another company. I won't mention that company. I was making pretty good money. Him and I just we went half with the truck. We were promised a contract with a former mentor of mine. Things didn't pan out there, so we basically had to figure it out on our own. We started with a dispatcher. The dispatcher was dispatching our freight. They were charging us 12%, which was pretty high. Now that I'm educated and understand now, they were finding the freight for us, and we were honestly just traveling from Michigan to all of the East Coast. We done went to South North Carolina, Maine, Florida. We just honestly went all over the place.
That's amazing. It's good to hear the journey and how you developed that interest when it comes to the trucking industry. I didn't know your father was also in the industry as well, so I can see how that passion drew you into wanting to explore this opportunity. Now, you talked about how you got started with a box truck. Can you really explain the process? I think for a lot of people listening and watching, they want to get into the industry, but they don't really know how to look for the different trucks or what's the process of actually going to getting that first truck. So can you kind of talk about your journey? How long did it take? How was that process of actually getting your first truck on the road?
So actually, when I was working for my former company, I worked there for about 2.5 years. I always knew I didn't want to be an employee, so I was always putting money to the side. I was putting at least $500 to the side. I didn't care about doing all the extracurricular activities when I got off of work or anything of that nature. I always was planning to eventually do this, so I set myself up for the future. So basically, after I had a certain a goal in mind. I wanted to purchase a box truck around that time. The prices were a lot cheaper. It was like before COVID and the pandemic and all of those things. So basically, my partner and I, once we got to 20,000 together, I already had that amount by myself, but once we both had 10 and 10 together, we just decided to find a box truck. We went online and we were lucky enough to find a box truck for 16,000 on commercialtrucktrader.com. It was in Pennsylvania, so we had to make that commute to Pennsylvania. We went and checked out the truck, made sure everything was solid on the truck. We didn't purchase it the initial time that we went to look at it. We had to come back home. I think about a week or two later. Fortunate enough that the truck was still there. We went out there, purchased the truck for $16,000 cash. So for anyone looking to purchase a box truck or a semi, whatever the case may be, I highly, 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 highly recommend, if you're new to this industry and you're not really educated on what to look for when purchasing a truck, bring a mechanic. Anytime you look at a truck, bring a mechanic. Have one or two mechanics on hand every time. I don't care if you got to pay them a couple $100s. It's honestly worth it to bring a mechanic with you every single time to save you so much money just in case that truck breaks down and anything that happens in the future. You just want to protect yourself at all costs.
Yeah, and I want everyone to hear that. Tim, explained that in order for him to get into the industry, he properly planned while he was working his 9 to 5, and he had a vision for getting out of the 9 to 5 and finding ways to, instead of exchanging his time for money, but allowing his money to work for him. And I think everyone can take note of that and realize that you don't have to be in your 9 to 5 forever. You can use your 9 to 5 to invest in your passions, your hobbies, to invest in your side hustles, and then you can leave. But having that plan, having that visualization, I just love hearing that because it's a lot. A lot of people can relate to that, and also just take note of how to take action when it comes to that. And when you talk about, I think you said it was commercialtrader.com. I wanted to ask you, as far as the different truck sizes. I know you can do a box truck, you can do a semi. What would you recommend? I know that you said you started with the box truck, but what, as far as the opportunity for growth, what would you recommend for someone that's trying to get started with going through either a box truck or a semi?
So, just a little backstory as well. This isn't the first time I actually bought a truck. I actually purchased a truck by myself. I bought a semi. I went to an auction out in Gary, Indiana, because a friend of mine from work recommended that I go there to purchase a truck. So I purchased the semi. I only paid $10,500 for that semi. But the person who recommended me to go to Gary, Indiana to purchase a truck, he told me, "Hey, don't get this truck with this certain engine. Don't do it at all costs." So I was looking at about three trucks, and they all look the same. I ended up purchasing a truck that basically he told me not to purchase because of the engine that was in it. So I drove it back to I drove it back from Gary, Indiana, to Michigan, and him and I met up a couple days later, something like that. And he opened the hood, and he realized, hey, this isn't what you were supposed to get. This is this. He was saying, I'm sorry. He was looking at the truck. He was like, "Oh, this is clean. Everything's good. Yada yada yada." He opened the hood and he was like, "Hey Tim, you bought the wrong truck. Sell this truck immediately. I don't care what you got to do. How about if you got to lose money, do whatever you need to do. You need to sell this truck as soon as possible." Because a friend of mine had a truck like this with the same engine, and he lost $20,000 just on repairs. So I took his advice, and I sold the truck. I honestly lost a couple $1,000s. The truck actually had a oil leak, so that scared me. And then he also scared me, telling me, "Hey, the engine on this truck, you don't want to deal with it. It costs way too much." And I just honestly sold it, lost a couple $1,000s. But me selling that truck, it was honestly probably not the best thing to do because it turns out that engine is actually a good engine. I was just misinformed. But I'm sorry. Back to your question. I just had to get that backstory out. But basically, it depends on your situation. Like me personally, I have a CDL, but I know that I wanted to hire someone who didn't have a CDL because it's going to be a lot easier to put them in that truck. Because with a box truck, as long as that truck is under 26,000 pounds gross weight, you don't need a CDL to operate that vehicle. But if anything over 26,000 pounds, you do need a CDL to operate that vehicle. But if you're someone who's looking to get into this industry and you have a CDL or you're willing to get a CDL to actually get on the road yourself, I would always recommend a semi because a semi you're gonna make a lot more money because of the opportunity. You can still, don't get me wrong, you can still make good money with a box truck. A lot of people are making really, really, really good money with a box truck, but a semi is always going to make more money because there's more opportunity. There's more room for freight that you can put into that semi. Um, what was I going to say? I'm sorry. There's so much more you can put into that semi, and then there's also you can do a cargo van if you want to do that, And then also you can do even a hot shot. You can get a pickup truck with a flatbed trailer on there, and you don't need a CDL with that either, as long as it's under 26,000 pounds. So it just depends on your situation. Do you want to go and get your CDL? Do you want to hire CDL drivers, which is a lot more difficult? If you want to do that, go that route. If not, then you can go the box truck. You can go the hot shot under 26,000 pounds, or you can go the cargo van.
Yeah, I like that. So it sounds as if too, if you don't want to get your CDL, you can get a box truck, and it's easier to kind of get into the industry with getting the truck on the road. Whereas if you do a semi, there's more requirements involved. You know, having a CDL, the driver has to have a CDL. Now I wonder with a box truck. I believe you said the driver doesn't have to have their CDL. You could just put anyone in a like a flatbed as far with um, as far as with the box truck. Do you have to have someone that has a CDL to actually drive that around and deliver loads?
No, they don't need a CDL. Like I said, as long as it's under 26,000 pounds gross vehicle weight, you don't need a CDL. All you need is a standard driver's license, and then you
That's
also need a DLT medical card. So you actually don't need a CDL as long as you're operating a vehicle under that 26,000 gross vehicle weight.
Yeah, that's solid, man. You know, I definitely think that opens up opportunities for people that uh, want to get in with less capital. Let's say they don't have a lot of money to get a big semi truck. Just getting into the industry to earn some passive income, like you said, with the flatbed, the cargo van, or a box truck, and then eventually progressing to a semi. So I think that's great. Now, as far as the startup capital, you know, I know that's one thing I think about, and a lot of people listening, they're probably wanting to know, like, what is the startup capital? Just kind of going based on your own experiences of what you're doing currently now. What is it that startup for just getting the truck up and running?
Well, when we started, man, it was a lot different. It was pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, and everything of that nature. Before, I would say like 20,000. It's for if you're going for a box truck. But now, you need about 40. Honestly, you need about 40,000 if you're going to be purchasing, financing a box truck. I would say about 40,000. But if you're looking to lease a box truck, you can probably still get away with that 20 to maybe 30,000, because you're gonna put down your down payment for your insurance. You're gonna pay for the box truck, however much, wherever what area you're in. You're gonna be paying for the leasing for that box truck. So it depends on which route you're gonna go with. I have a video on leasing versus financing box truck. This is kind of pre-COVID when I did the video, so just take that in mind if you're checking out that video. But you can check out that video and see which option is best for you. I would honestly say if you're new to this industry, you don't have connects or anything of that nature, I would go the leasing route. I would go to like an enterprise, a budget, or something of that nature, and look to lease that truck and see if this industry is for you. You don't have to jump out there like I did and just go purchase a truck. Honestly, I've been in the industry for a couple years, so I have connections that not a regular person just getting into this industry would have. So I would say just go lease that truck and see if this industry is for you. Just build as many relationships as possible before jumping into this industry, please. Not a lot of people last 2 years in this industry. A lot of people, social media glamorize this industry because you can make a lot of money. But on the flip side, you can also fail and lose a lot of money as well. 25% of the people who jump in this industry last 2 years. So when watching this video, I want you guys to watch this video all the way through. I want you guys to get as educated as possible before jumping in this industry, because a lot of people are just glamorizing it, showing you the good. They're not showing you the bad. They're not showing you that $20,000 can be a bill that you need to pay to for your maintenance. They're not showing you that you break down on the side of the road and you're on a toll road. They're gonna charge you $500 just to jump your truck. So it's a lot of things that a lot of people aren't showing in this industry, and I'm telling you, like I have so many horror stories just from this industry, but I also have great stories to tell as well. So I just want to be as thorough as possible, and before jumping in, I want you guys to be, you know what I mean, just as educated as possible.
Yeah, that's spot on, Tim. And talking about the cost, you know, I know one of the most expensive costs you've told me with maintaining the truck is maintenance and fuel. Can you talk about, like, you know, how a person has to properly prepare for that, and even possibly having more of like an emergency fund after you get your truck, because there's things that are going to come up unexpected, and you have to make sure that you can be able to take those, just pay for those costs just to maintain the vehicle. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so basically, what I always recommend, is find out exactly how much it costs you to run your business every single day. I'm talking about to pay your employees, to for your maintenance, whatever, however you want to set your maintenance aside. Add that up. Add your insurance up. Add your truck note if you have a truck note. Add every single thing, every expense that you have in this industry. Add that up and divide it by 30, because 30 days, and find out exactly how much it costs you to run your business on a day-to-day basis. But first things first, make sure you put a percentage away for your maintenance. Every single week, you need to have an account for escrow for maintenance, because it's not a matter of if these trucks break down, it's a matter of when they break down. And when they break down, you want to be as protected as possible so that you can just send it to the shop, get it fixed, and be right back on the road. You don't have to worry about scrambling around to figure out how am I going to pay for this or yada, yada, yada. So you just want to be as thorough as possible, and you got to find what works for you. I recommend that you just add up, like I said, all of your expenses divided by 30 and figure out how much it costs you to run your business on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, I agree with you. Now, I want to talk about passive income, just the potential of, how much you can make on a weekly, a daily basis in this business. What would you say a person can make in passive income within the trucking business?
Okay, so when you say passive income for this industry, a lot of people just think you can just buy a truck and it's just going to be passive. So I'm gonna answer that first. So basically, with passive income in this industry is basically you purchasing a truck, finding a driver, whether that's a box truck or a semi, and then finding a third party company to put that driver as well as that truck onto their company, and they're going to handle everything. They're going to handle the insurance, they're going to handle booking the loads, fuel cards, all of that thing, all of those things. And then, excuse me, at the end of the week, they're going to take their fee, whether that's 20, 25%, whatever you guys agree upon. They're going to take their fee, and then they're going to cut you your check at the end of the week. You're going to pay your driver whatever you guys agree upon, and then you're going to keep your half as well. So when you're getting into this industry, you're looking to do that route, you're going to make anywhere from $750 to $1,500 every single week after paying all of your expenses. But it could be a lot more. It can be a lot less as well. Every week may be different. It's all about how much your driver is driving, and bunch of different other bunch of different other factors play into that as well.
Yeah, and I wonder, as far as like the return of investment, I think for yourself, you paid it all in cash when you paid for it. So you just probably started making, that passive income, right off the top, as you started to find drivers on the road. But for someone that, let's say, they have to finance the return of investment, like what would you say a person, if they're spending 40,000, on a truck, how long do you think it would take for them to actually get back that return of investment that they would make, within the trucking business?
It's a lot that goes into it, Kevin. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's about finding a good driver. The
Yeah.
good driver is gonna be is gonna control your business. If you have a horrible driver, you're not gonna be making money. Honestly,
Yeah.
you're losing more money by having a horrible driver than if your truck was sitting. So if you have a great driver, everything is going really well. I would say 6 months to a year, maybe longer. You could honestly be even honestly quicker. We were grossing 20,000 at minimum a month. That's with a box truck. So
Yeah.
it just depends on your driver, your systems that you have in place, the freight that you're running. It's a bunch of different factors that play into it. But just to be safe, I would say just look at a year. Just
Yeah.
look at a year at minimum. I would just say just to play it safe. I don't want to just I don't want to promise anyone anything. It's just so
Yeah.
many things that play into that play a factor in that. But finding a good driver is going to be is the fact is they're going to be the key to getting your investment the fastest.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that. I really want to talk about the systems and processes you have to put in place to be successful with this business. Because I think, as us being entrepreneurs, the goal is to create a system so that way it's automated. So you're not having to worry about moving left or right to do everything yourself, but you have people within your business that are working for you. So when you talk about finding drivers, uh, where can people go to find drivers, whether it's platforms, websites? I know that you said sometimes you have to work with third parties. How can people find these third parties that can help them get drivers so they can start delivering loads? What does that system look like when it comes to actually finding the drivers?
So for us, fortunate enough, we were actually able to find drivers in our own circle. First, I always recommend that you start with your circle. You may have someone who has a CDL, that's the route you're going to take. You may have someone who just will drive a box truck or even a hot shot. So first, start with your circle. Then start to post on your Facebook, your Instagram. Start to tell people in your circle as well, like, hey, I have a referral bonus. If you find someone to drive for me and they last 30 to 60 days, whatever you want to put in place, I'll pay you. You can do that. You can also post on Craigslist, post an ad telling everything that you have, everything you have to offer, how much you're going to pay, yada, yada, yada. And then also you can post on Indeed as well. Indeed is probably going to be the best way if you're looking to find like a semi driver. Indeed is going to be great because there's so many people that where is everyone looking when they look to get a job? Indeed, right? That's the first place. So what you need to do is find where are people looking to find a job for whatever you have to offer. Like semi drivers, there's going to be a bunch of different people on Indeed, Craigslist, like I said, and these different platforms. So just find out what you have to offer and think about someone that's going to look to work for you for the requirements that you have. Where are they going to be looking for that job? And that's where you're going to post.
Yeah, that's good, man. I think taking advantage of the free marketing with social media, and being able to use your circle, having that word of mouth, and talking with your family and friends, and trying to provide opportunities for them, and like you said, using Indeed, using possibly Craigslist, and trying to put your business out there and seeing how you can attract people to want to come and work for you. And it's crazy, man. I think like one thing I realized, like as you're trying to build a business and build something for the long term, sometimes when you go to your family and friends, they feel some type of way. And you've talked about this on your Instagram, how you try to show love within your circle and they look at you some type of way because they think that you're trying to get over on them or you're making more than them, but you're providing them an opportunity. And at the end of the day, I want everybody to eat. I want my family to eat. I want my friends to eat. Can you talk about that? Just the challenge of entrepreneurship, man, of that you try to present an opportunity for somebody and they don't want to work for you, but they go support these $1 million, $1 billion brands. It's just crazy, man. It needs to be more in the circle, man. But can you kind of talk about that?
Man, you about to start. You about to get something started, man. You about to get something started, man. First and foremost, when you start something, strangers are going to support you first. I don't care what it is. Strangers are always going to support you first, unless you're like someone like Kevin and I. I support Kevin with everything. I started a clothing line. Kevin was the first one to buy, and if he starts a clothing line, it's going to be likewise. Him and I, we support each other no matter what. I can't name many people who do the same that Kevin and I, how the relationship we have. We always support one another. I don't care what it is. We're never too big or never too low to support one another. And I love that about him and I. So when you start your own business, do not expect your friends and family to support how you think they would. They're not going to. I'm sorry to tell you, when I started my YouTube channel, not a lot of people were supporting me. I'm just going to be real with you. I'm talking about 20 views, 50 views. And I'm educating people. I'm helping people start businesses, LLCs. I'm start clothing lines, start putting money in their pocket for free. I'm talking about for free. But what it took was for my video to blow up, my video to get 1 million views. Now everybody, hey Tim, how you do this? How you do that? How you do this? How you do that? No, that's $200 an hour. You got to pay me $200 to speak with me about educating you because I had to get it out the mud. I had to figure it out on my own. And when I was doing that, guess what? You weren't supporting that. You weren't supporting it. Now you got to pay for my time. My time is very, very, very valuable. And you have to show people, you know what I mean? That when you getting it out the mud and you at the bottom and you're figuring it out, they're not supporting you. They're not. They're not. It's reality. They're not supporting you. You have to prove to them. You have to put money in their face. You have to put the numbers in their face. You have to show the value in order for them to support you. When everybody else is supporting you, all those strangers are supporting you, that's when they're gonna start to support you. But you gotta keep it pushing. Like you gotta let that motivate you. Anytime I post a video and not many people are sharing it, that's motivating me. I'm like, okay, baby, I ain't going hard enough. You know what I mean? I'm not going hard enough. When I started my trucking company and my brother, I mean, shout out to my brother. I love my brother. Like you know what I'm saying? It's blood. But when I started the trucking company, he was working for UPS. He was a UPS driver. He was getting laid off. I'm talking about working 1 or 2 days a week. Some weeks he wasn't even working, and he was making 20 something dollars an hour. I said, "Hey, bro, come over here and work for me." I didn't even say come over here and work for me. Let me rephrase that. I said, "Come over here. Let me present you an opportunity. Come over here and let's get this going. You didn't want to invest when I started this company, so how about you come over here and you be not an employee but a partner? You come over here, work. I'm gonna pay you $5 more. Then you're getting an hour. You're gonna be full time. You're gonna get a check every single week, and I'm gonna pay you, and I'm gonna show you the ropes. I'm gonna show you. You're gonna work here, build your capital up, and we can get a truck together. You know what I'm saying? Then you can be your own boss." You know what he did? He laughed at me. He laughed at me. He laughed at me and said, I'm not working for you. Why would I work for you?" But why would you work for me? You don't have to work for me. We're working together to build something. We're building a family business. You know what I'm saying? He laughed at me, bro. He laughed at me. And I'm going to be honest with you. That hurt me. It hurt me. You know what I'm saying? It hurt me to my core. It really did. It hurt me to my core. But you know what? Eventually I got over it and it motivated me because it's funny that you would rather work for someone who's looking at you as just a number. They don't care about you. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care about your kids you got at home, your wife you got at home. They don't care about none of that. All they got to offer you is what? Insurance. Everybody's out here like, I gotta work this job because insurance. All this and all that. Listen, figure it out. You can figure it out. Like you don't go to the hospital every day, every week. I know it's a safety net, but figure it out. When he did that and he laughed in my face, it hurt me to the core. But you know what? It motivated me. Okay, now I gotta go harder. Now I gotta provide health insurance for these employees in the future when that time comes. You know what I'm saying? I gotta set myself apart from others. But look, I'm sorry, I'm going all the way. I'm going super deep. But when you start
No,
your
I love
business,
it.
don't look for others in your circle, your friends, your family to support you. Those strangers are gonna support you so much more. I have people paying me $200 an hour. I didn't think, honestly, I didn't even think my time was worth that much. I had to ask my mentor. Like people kept reaching out to me. People that I knew, they were reaching out to me on Facebook. Hey Tim, I see you. I see you know that box truck business. I've been looking at getting into that industry for a long, long time. And I was sending those messages to my mentor. I'm like, listen, people are reaching out to me, asking me these questions. I was like, I don't know what to do, man. He was like, $200 an hour. I'm like, $200 an hour? What you mean $200 an hour? He's like, you worth it, man. Trust me. $200 an hour. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I was sending that to people. They were just opening the messages, not even responding. And I was getting discouraged. I had a young lady reach out to me and she asked me, you know what I'm saying, about the industry. Can you be my mentor? I said, I'm not offering mentorship, but I'm offering 1 hour consultations. I got discouraged. I charged her only $100, but she paid that $100 with no questions asked. People who I know laughed at me, didn't respond, left me on red, all these type of things. You know what I'm saying? But she paid that $100 an hour, and from that point on, I realized that I provided value to her. She messaged me a week later like, you provided so much value that honestly it was worth every single dollar. Honestly, I went over that hour when I spoke with her. I gave her so much not free game. I gave her so much game within that hour that she paid $100, and from that point forward, $200 an hour. No questions asked. I don't care what it is. You got to pay me. My time is worth $200 an hour, and I know that I'm providing so much value that can save you so much time and money. I have so many resources that can help you out. So just don't get discouraged. If you're someone who's watching this video, Kevin is giving out so much free game, and you guys need to jump on board. Like we're dropping so many gems that we weren't taught these things. We grew up in poverty. I'm originally from Flint, Michigan. Moved out of Flint, moved to a better area. Kevin, I think you were from Detroit.
Detroit, yep. Redford,
Detroit,
Michigan.
Detroit.
Right, yeah, Redford, Michigan. Grew up, yep.
Bedford, Detroit. He's
Yep.
providing so much value. He went to I didn't personally go to college, and I learned so many things that not a lot of people who went to college even know these type of things. He went to college. You got 2 degrees, correct?
Yep, that's
He's
correct.
got 2 degrees. Y'all better jump on board, man. I'm telling y'all, like y'all got to jump on board. My boy is dropping so much information, and like me as well. Check out my channel as well. But just I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place because this
You
is a
good.
personal this is a personal topic for me. So just don't get discouraged. Those people aren't gonna support you when you start off. You got to show them.
Yeah.
Use that as motivation to push you. Like once you start popping, listen, they're gonna start supporting and they're gonna start coming around. But like, nah, you got to pay me for my time now.
Bro, it's so crazy, man. Strangers will support you first before your family and friends. Like, it's real, bro, because I've seen it firsthand. And even when you tell people, like, what you charge for your consultations, or for me, like, I do the consultations as well, financial literacy programs, they are kind of hesitant. Like, they feel like I shouldn't be charging anything. And it's like what you said, my
Let me cut you
time is
off. Let me cut you off.
valuable.
Let me cut you off. I'm sorry. I said this in one of my latest videos. Don't
Bro.
come in here charging yourself cheap. When you come out with a cheap price, what are you gonna get? Cheap customers that are asking you. I'm not trying to sound like you know what I'm saying. That irrelevant questions that have nothing. They're gonna start asking you, "What am I getting for this? What am I yada 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 yada." Those are the customers that you don't want. You don't want those customers. You want those
Mhm.
customers. Hey, I'm $200 an hour. No
Yep.
questions asked. They sent that. They sent that deposit. They sent that $200 with no
Yep.
questions asked.
They ready.
Like you
Yep.
want those type of people. When you you set your price very low, what are you going to attract? Customers that you do not want to deal with. Customers that are going to hound you. You know what I'm saying? You know what you provide. You know you got that value. Stand on that price. Stand on it. Stand on it. Stand on it. Somebody is going to pay that price. I don't care what it takes, but someone will pay that price. Go ahead. Sorry, I had to tell you that.
Oh no, no, you're right. Because there is people out there that will pay that price, and you can't get discouraged, like Tim is saying, where your family, your friends don't want to support you. It's like that. You just gotta keep a positive mindset and stay consistent in your process and your business. And you are, like you said, Tim. Me and you being educators and having our own YouTube channels. We give already so much just free gems on those platforms where, okay, the people that want to take it more serious, we have other things that you can support us with. And like you said, you want the people that are going to just pay it and no questions asked. And I feel you on the consultations. A lot of times when I charge the hourly fees, I charge typically around the 100 to 200 range as well. And I usually go over the hour because I be wanting people to know that I'm going to over deliver. Like, it's so much value that you're going to want to come back more consistently over time. So I just think, like, I pour my heart out, man, when I work with clients. And I think people can see that. And the people that don't want to take action, I don't even waste my time. I got to move on to the next person. You taking away from my dreams and my ambitions of wanting to help people and change lives. So, and I love how you talked about how, even if you don't go the college route, I went the college route, but for a lot of people out there watching, like Tim is a great prime example of someone that has become very successful with entrepreneurship, that did everything through self-education, taking programs, courses, personal development. A lot of these things that you will learn in the classroom, in the college, college classroom, you can learn just by taking courses. Me and Tim, we went in together and we bought a YouTube course, not too long ago, and we just educating ourselves on different topics. So can you talk about that too, Tim, as well? Not going the college route and saying, you know what, I don't want to go into debt. I'm going to just get it out the mud. I'm going to learn by just from mentors, from courses, and really building success from that standpoint.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You dropping all you listen. You getting into your bag with these questions. So basically, courses over college. I always preach this: courses over college. I'd rather spend that $500 and learn from someone who's successful, who's making millions of dollars, than go to a college and learn from people who are employees. They have a salary. They have a cap on how much they can make. This person over here that I'm purchasing this course from, they don't have no cap. There's no cap on how much they're earning. You know what I'm saying? And when I look to invest in courses, I want to make sure it has value. I want to look at reviews. I follow for months. I'm talking about I watched them for months. Kevin and I, before we invested into our course together, we made sure we went as thorough as possible. We wanted to make sure it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? It was a $500 course. Not a lot of people are going to pay $500 because they don't feel like it's worth it. But I got 35,000 subscribers on YouTube. I had a pretty good incline before purchasing the course, but I've learned so many different things. I'm growing on my Instagram now. Kevin's growing. Kevin's dropping gems. Kevin's implementing these things from this course as well. Like courses over college, any day. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. I didn't go to college. I had actually a basketball scholarship, partial scholarship to go play basketball in Canada. I didn't end up taking that scholarship for whatever reasons. But you know what I did? I got 21. As soon as I turned 21, I was like, you know what? I can go get my CDL for $2,700, right? I paid $2,700 to get my CDL. You know how long it took me to make that money back? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to make that money back. Everything else after that, the rest of that 2.5 years, what was that? All profit. All profit. It was all profit. But if I go to college for 4 to 8 years, what am I doing? I'm going into debt for however long. And then when I go to this job, what am I gonna make? I guarantee you, you getting out of college for that 4 years, you're not gonna make as much as I was making. I guarantee you. My first year with that CDL, 60,000. Second year, 6 figures off a $2,700 investment, investing into myself. And now I even started a trucking company from this. So find your passion, find your route. You don't always have to go to college. I'm not gonna bash college. College is just not for everyone. It wasn't for me. My fiance, she went to college. Kudos to her. Kudos to Kevin for going to college, and he's providing so much value because of the things he learned in college and also outside of college. So I'm not bashing college by any means necessary, but you don't have to go to college. Courses over college anytime. I'm always preach that. Honestly, I'm gonna drop a apparel on that. I'm dropping it. I'm trademarking it. I'm
You
trademarking it.
have
You
to.
heard it here first.
Hey, you have to, man, because I think you're making a point about I think with us in the climate that we're in now in the world, in the economy, you can really just build a successful business by just taking courses. A lot of the things that you will learn in the college setting, you can honestly learn all of this online with the internet, the technology that we're seeing with the internet. We started talking about cryptocurrency with NFTs, the blockchain. People are literally making 6 figures by just having their own NFTs, creating these different communities with their own NFTs, and just trading. So it's like you between being an investor, building your own business around your passion, looking at ways of creating courses. You can literally build something and not have to go to college. And learn from someone that's an employee. And like speaking on that from like, just being a business owner and employee, like when we think about our tax system, the tax system, we talked about this the other day, it's designed for investors and business owners. The tax system doesn't work in the favor of employees or being self-employed. So it's like when you go to college, it's almost like they're programming you to go get that whatever 6-figure job or to just be comfortable with a salary, where it's almost like they want you to be immune to a tax system that's designed to keep you a slave. And I don't like saying it like that, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's like when you're in that system and you don't understand what you're in, it's almost like you got chains on you and you're just kind of in a natural motion of living for someone else. So can you kind of talk about like how you have gotten out of that way of thinking and understanding how our tax system is and being an investor and an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So it's funny you say that. Honestly, like I told you, I made 6 figures driving for a company. Out of that 6 figures, it wasn't 6 figures. Trust me, it wasn't 6 figures. So compare like an employee to a business owner. So if I go make 6 figures for a company, I'm paying whatever the case may be for taxes. I'm no tax specialist or anything of that nature. But if I go make that same 6 figures for that for my trucking company, purchasing that truck, if it's over what is it, 6 or 10,000, I can't remember right now off the top of my head, tax write off for that vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm writing off 10, 20,000 right there. You get what I'm saying? You can't write that off for being an employee. So then once I go get fuel, What is that? That's a part of the business. That's a write-off. If I go stay in a hotel or whatever the case, food out there when I'm on the road, tires for the truck, all these type of things. But when I go work for this company, my car breaks down. What's that? Am I writing that off? That
Right.
gas, am I writing that off? This
No.
food, am I writing that off? You know what I'm saying? It's so many different things. So many benefits of being a business owner compared to an employee for the tax purposes. Like if you're looking to get into becoming your own boss, your own business, or whatever the case may be, get a nice accountant. These accountants that are super. Get a tax specialist, an accountant, someone who's very educated on this. You can take advantage of so many different tax codes that they have out here. Like it's crazy. I'm still learning. Honestly, I'm not a specialist or anything of that nature. I'm still educating myself, but I just know that it's so many write-offs that you can use. Like you could be so creative, and sometimes even people like Grant Cardone, if you guys know who Grant Cardone is, he bought a jet, an airplane. Did you know what I'm saying?
Just for
Tax
the write
free,
off.
like
Just for the write off.
for a write off. You know what I'm saying? How? Like everybody was like scratching their heads, like how did he do this? You got to be creative. You got to be super creative. But like so many different benefits. Like if you're making six figures as an employee, you getting taxed so crazy. Like
The reason why it's so many more taxes is just because like we are in a progressive tax system in America. So the more you make, the more that they take. So it's like you got to be strategic about it. And you know, as a business owner, you pay taxes last, so you make all of your income. But having that accountant is important because you want to be able to plan month to month by the end of the year what your tax bill is going to be. But when it comes to write-offs and all of those different things, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy too. Um, yeah, man, it's serious. And
I'll
Tim is
send it to
showing,
you. But if
yeah,
you guys can
yeah,
see, the check before tax gross was $4,531. They took $1,754.61. I'll send
crazy.
you a screenshot so you can have it. You can show the audience.
Yeah, we're gonna put that up. We're gonna put that up. But it's crazy, man. And it's like, you know, as a business owner, having a good tax accountant, you pay those taxes at the end of the year. And when you're an employee, they take it all out before you even get your gross income. So it's like we live in a progressive tax system and you gotta be smart about it. You know, it's not really designed. I don't understand why people complain. Like it's like just like that post said that you sent me, bro. It's like entrepreneurs gonna be like, okay, let's get it. I know how to work the system. The people that are employees, they say it's not fair. It's not fair because that's the way you once you know how the game is played, you can thoroughly know how to play the game and succeed and win. You know, so just learn the way of the game and get out here and learn, you know what I mean? I think it's not nothing that you can't learn online and don't feel like you don't have the capability of building a business or being an investor into a small business. You know, I know a lot of people that have bought and just businesses and they get passive income, whether it's buying a laundromat or let's say you buy a vending machine supplier or something where you can just purchase, you know, other businesses and you can kind of have them. You can just have that work for you as well. So there's a lot of different ways to kind of get out of that employee mindset. But I think the education is the best thing, man. Like you said, and starting from there.
Definitely. Education over compensation.
Yep.
Employees say everything is unfair because they're not educated. Once you get
Yep.
educated on whatever the case may be, you'll understand from that perspective and you won't be that's not fair type of person. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be educated. Once you educate yourself, everything else goes out the window. You'll start to realize you'll jump the other side of the fence and you'll be looking at those employees like, oh, trust me, it's fair.
Yep.
You licking your chops, you rubbing your hands because you understand it is fair because there's so many strategies that you can take advantage of and
Yep.
save and invest and all these type of things. So you just have to be on the other side of the fence to understand it is fair.
Yep.
You just
It
got to
really
make it
is. You got to hey, that's facts, man. It really is. So, man, to close this out, man, you know, everyone, I want y'all to go subscribe to Tim's YouTube channel. I'm gonna put all of his information in the show notes. He has a great channel. He's talking about finance, business, and investing, similar to this one as well. And one of my great friends that we grew up in the same similar parts of Michigan, man. So, how can people go and subscribe to your channel, and also with your consultation and things that you got going on in business? How can people go and support you, Tim?
First and foremost, subscribe to Kevin's channel. Forgive me, I'm a guest on his channel. Subscribe to his channel. Smash that like button. Hit the bell notification so you're notified anytime he's posting content, so you guys can get educated as thorough as possible. Honestly, he's dropping so many gems, and I need you guys to support him more. I need him to be monetized by the end of this year. I need you guys to support him and get his views, his likes, everything up. Support him first and foremost. But if you want to reach out to me, follow me on Instagram, Timothy Williams Jr. 0. Follow me on YouTube, Timothy Williams Jr. If you want to book a 1 hour consultation, go on my Instagram, click book now. And then also all of my YouTube videos down in the description below. I have everything that you guys need, affiliate links, all these type of things. So if you want to reach out to me, Instagram or even YouTube.
Yes, and I'm gonna put all of that information in there, so you all will be able to go and find his different social media links. And just want to tell you all, thank you for watching. Definitely continue to support the channel. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. It definitely helps. And yep, man, I'm gonna get this monetized before the end of the year. So I'm gonna speak it into existence on this episode, man. And I thank you again, Tim. I really enjoyed this conversation and just connecting with you, brother. I really look at you as a brother, and I really love what we're building, man, when it comes to this entrepreneurship.
So I love, bro. We both gonna get them YouTube plaques, all these
Yeah.
millions and billions of dollars together, bro. It's all love.
Blessings, man. Well, thank you all for tuning into another episode,
Thank
and
you guys.
take care. Appreciate it.